In 2019, Duke University did a study where they simply asked people to track their calorie intake. They didn't give them a diet, they didn't tell them to lose weight. However, every single person who tracked their calorie intake ended up losing weight. When I found this out, I started thinking, how could I apply this principle to many different areas of my life? Because as soon as you track something, you become cognizant, you become aware of it, and then you can make improvements without really even trying. And you can use this strategy to improve your health, to improve your finances, even to improve your personal relationships and sex life. So in today's video, I'm going to share with you 7 metrics that I believe every man should track and improve. Hello, my name is James, and I'm on a mission to create a generation of gentlemen. If you'd like to be connected with a network of gentlemen around the world, then you can do so by joining the Gent Z community. You'll find the links down below. Every man should track his weight, but waist size is a much better indicator of body fat and overall physique. 200 pounds can look very different on 2 different men. But no man looks good with a 40-inch waist. To measure your waist is very easy. Take a tape measure, wrap it around your midsection slightly above your navel. Right now, I'm in a phase of fat loss, so I'm measuring my waist every single week and tracking it in a Google spreadsheet. It's incredibly motivating and encouraging to see that number get smaller every single week. Another metric every man should track is his credit score. Your credit score can have a big impact on your life. It can determine what type of mortgage you get approved for, the interest rate you get on a car loan, even what type of apartment you can rent. And this number can go up or down, depending on how reliably you paid your credit card bill, how much of your available credit you're using, and the length of your credit history. And you want to know this number so you can modify your behaviors to improve it. Tracking this score encourages you to use your credit responsibly and stay debt-free. Right now, I'm tracking my credit score every single week because in a couple of months, I'm going to be applying to lease a new apartment, and having as high a credit score as possible will help me get the apartment I want. However, for most people, checking your score once a month is more than enough. And most credit card companies will provide some kind of free credit monitoring service. I know that I can check my FICO score for free using my American Express app or my Discover app. But if your credit card company doesn't provide this, there are some tools out there online that you can use instead. Gentlemen, you know I had to mention this one. It's very important for a man to measure his calorie intake. I'm not an advocate for any one particular diet. You can do keto, caveman, vegan, fasting, intuitive eating, whatever you want. But nothing can deny the science of calories in versus calories out. And I explained in the intro why tracking your calories is so important and so effective. And you can compare your calorie intake to your waist size and other important health metrics. There are many different ways you can track your calories, whether it's MyFitnessPal, old-fashioned pen and paper, or you can do what I do, which is to create a meal plan, prepare all your meals on one day of the week and eat the same thing every day. That way, I don't have to do any adding up throughout the day. I don't even have to think about what I'm eating. I have a week's worth of healthy, high-protein meals that meet my exact calorie needs. And right now, I'm definitely taking my health and fitness more seriously than ever before. And if you would like to follow along with that journey, let me know, do you think I should post that kind of content on this channel? Or do you think I should start a separate fitness-related channel? Let me know down in the comments. Health and fitness are very important, but so are the people we love. And for that reason, I think you should track the time that you spend with those who are important to you. Now, this might sound slightly clinical or cold, but if you love somebody, be intentional. And it should be so important to you that you want to track that you're putting in the hours and spending that time with them. Make sure you are spending enough quality time with your family, your loved one, your girlfriend, your children, etc., and see how that correlates to changes in your relationships. For example, if your girlfriend or your wife has been a little bit frosty with you lately, then you can go back and see How much time did I actually spend with her? How much quality time did I give her? Maybe she's justified in feeling this way. The point is, if you don't track it, then you won't really know. And you can also do this the other way around. If there's somebody in your life whom you believe is a negative influence, somebody slightly toxic or bad for you, then you can track how much time you've spent with them and aim to deliberately decrease that over time. I used to be so skeptical about the whole sleep thing, and I thought people who spoke about sleep and obsessed over sleep were honestly just kind of being wimps. But now I realize I was so wrong and so stupid about that. And that's because I have learned the importance not only of getting enough sleep, but of tracking your sleep. And when you first start tracking your sleep, you're going to have the same realization that everybody else does, which is, oh my goodness, I am not getting anywhere near enough sleep. When I first started wearing a Fitbit to bed, I would wake up thinking that was a pretty average night's sleep for me, probably quite a good night's sleep, and then I'd see that I'd had 5.5 hours of sleep. And I was chronically running on empty, just like many other people in the Western world. You might think that you go to bed at 10 p.m., you wake up at 6 a.m., that equals 8 hours sleep. That's absolutely not true, because you need to factor in sleep efficiency. And somewhere to 80 to 90% sleep efficiency is actually considered very good. So that means if you want to sleep 8 hours, you need to be spending between 9.5 and 10 hours in the bed. Tracking your sleep helps to gamify sleep, and then you can work to make improvements. For me, I've noticed that when I drink more than 2 or 3 drinks, my quality of sleep dramatically decreases. My quality of sleep is also hindered if I have the blinds open and there's lights from the buildings coming into the room. And that getting into bed at a very early time most nights of the week helps me get the right amount of sleep I need to do my job for you guys as best as I can. So the Fitbit app will tell you how much sleep you had every night, and it also gives you a weekly average. So the weekly average is something I like to track and improve. It helps me think, if I'm going to have a late night, say on Friday, then I need to have a really early night on Thursday so that I can compensate for that lack of sleep that's to come. I believe every man should track his income every month. You might think that you don't need to do that because you work a 9 to 5. You get a paycheck, it's fixed, it's the same. Well, I would say that is a limiting belief. Especially as a young man, one of the best ways you can get ahead is do a side hustle or some moonlighting with freelance work on the side to increase your monthly income. This YouTube channel started as a side hustle for me. At first it was bringing in a few hundred extra dollars a month, maybe 1,000, 2,000, and now it's become my full-time job. And I'm actually working on a side hustle in the evenings after spending time on the channel. Before I even came up with the idea of doing the YouTube channel, I was making around $600 extra a month as a host of an educational podcast for lawyers. So tracking your income gives you the motivation to increase it, and it will help you think of creative ways you can do that. And at first, just try adding $100 to $200 extra a month. Then see if you can scale that same business model to 300, 400, maybe 1,000, and maybe it will even become your full-time job. Tracking everything is important, but what's the point if you don't see an overall improvement in your life satisfaction? For that reason, every week I believe you should give yourself a happiness score from 1 to 10. Now, at first, it's kind of hard to give yourself that rating because who can say what a 7 feels like or an 8? It's slightly subjective. But after the first week, then you have a point of reference. And if your score goes down or up, you can look back at the week you've had and think why that is. Maybe you were stressed this week. Maybe you had a particular event happen that was either good or bad. It could even be something as simple as you didn't get enough sleep this week and you feel exhausted. But tracking your happiness, it's the metric of all metrics that can push your life in the right direction. However, happiness isn't always the same as progress. Progress can be painful. You can have the pain of realizing that you're even further from your goals than you realized and you've got a lot of work to do, but I would rather take a slight hit to my short-term happiness and know that I'm on the right path in the long term. And you can use that slight pain as motivation to have a great week ahead. Gentlemen, I hope you've enjoyed today's video and you're appreciating the more slightly self-improvement related content that I'm making right now. I want to hear from you in the comments. What is one metric that you track in your life that I didn't mention in this video? I'm very much looking forward to reading your responses.